Alright, first, can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the band?
Well, you started talking. Go ahead.
I said, Shane, I do vocals.
I'm Brett, I play guitar.
I'm Tim, and I play drums.
And you're currently on tour with IC Stars. How's that going so far?
Pretty good. We've only gotten to play like 2 shows because one of them got canceled.
This
is the third tonight. Yeah, sorry. I can't count.
And you wrapped up a tour with Day to Remember not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
How did that one go?
That was really fun.
Yeah.
There was tons of kids there. We had an awesome reaction and just had a good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun hanging out with those guys. Like, you know, whenever you get to a point like as a band, and you see bands like A Day to Remember who are huge right now and Under Oath, and you know who have been big for a really long time. You know, you kind of expect not to mean this in a rude way, but you kind of expect at least one or some of them to kind of be rock stars, like just to have that type of mentality. And there wasn't a single rock star on that tour. Like everybody hung out with everybody, and we all had a blast. Like it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
How was it playing the bigger venues?
It's different. It's good.
I like the sound better. I like the crowd worse.
Right. I mean, because you know, for us, we really want kids to be able to interact. We want them to sing along. We want them to be able to, you know, to get up on stage and you know, jump off of it. You know, do the typical hardcore environment. Like we want that, and you really can't do that at places like a larger venue that have barriers and things like that in front of the stage. And that separation is something like that kills me. It kills me just because I want kids to be able to sing along. I want to be able to hold the mic out whenever I see somebody that's singing something that was written by us. Like I want them to be able to have like that type of moment, and like it's not really conducive towards that type of environment. But like Brett said, having that many kids there is insane. It's just insane. I mean, that was definitely, you know, the biggest tour that we've ever done. So.
Now, you hear you guys get compared to A Day to Remember a lot. Does that get frustrating, or do you take it as a compliment?
I don't know if it gets frustrating. We don't think that we sound like them. Like we're somewhat in the same genre, but I mean, it's a compliment at the same time.
I mean, because they mean that I hope with the best intentions. I mean, and so I mean, I'll never be like, oh, that's dumb. You're an idiot for saying something like that. Because I mean, like I said, you know, they really are complimenting you, and you know, they mean that in the best way possible. But like, we don't think that we sound like them.
How do you respond to criticism, to people saying you straight up rip them off?
Do they?
Then I think they should listen to our music and their music.
Yeah, I mean, really, because I mean that honestly makes me think they haven't even listened to our CD, and they're just kind of going off of what people have said. I mean, somebody has to have listened to our album and been able to say something like that. But
I mean, people just see that we're on the same label, and they see that we're in the same genre, and they were bigger
before us.
Yeah, so
it also makes me think they don't really listen to hardcore.
Right.
And so I mean, that being said, it's whatever. Gotta brush the haters off. Haters gonna hate.
Your first album, We Will Overcome, came out almost a year ago. How do you feel about it looking back?
I like the album as a whole. We put everything we had into it, just as much passion and energy as we could, and I think that we did what we could with it, and we're excited to be doing another album soon.
It's not there's not a single thing that I wouldn't change off of that record. I think that it encompasses, you know, everything that we wanted to say at the time, and what we wanted to do at the time. After we finished with it and you know, sent it off for mastering, you know, there wasn't one of those moments where we all kind of sat around and said, I wish we could have done this, or I wish we could have done that. We all were pretty satisfied with everything that we had put into it. So.
And have you started writing new material?
Yes, we have.
Yep.
How does it compare to the past material?
It's different in some ways.
It's the same genre come at from a different direction. Our basically, I don't know if this is going to make sense to most people, but basically the big difference is that it's turned around on fast parts of snare beats instead of downbeats. So it's got like a lot more of a punk rock feel in the fast parts.
Funkier feel, yeah.
And that's the big difference so far that I see.
I think it's a little bit more aggressive feel than some of the stuff that we had on We Will Overcome. A lot of people listening to us on a CD expect us to kind of be like a pop punk band in some ways, and if they ever come and see us live, like we're not. I mean, we're a hardcore band. I mean, it's the way that we play. It's the music that we play. So it definitely will make the statement for fans of Rise Against and Comeback Kid become that much more true. It's not something that will be so much of a stretch from who we are now that it alienates people that like We Will Overcome. But at the same time, musicians progress, and so that being said, so should the music. It should constantly kind of be evolving in some way. I feel. I don't know if everybody in this seat agrees.
I agree.
So.
Totally. You should always be pushing yourself as an artist to try new things and be open to new ideas and constantly develop and get better.
And we don't necessarily know what all of it's going to be yet because the whole album isn't written yet.
No, definitely not.
Was the aggression that you mentioned, was that a conscious effort?
Lyrically, yes. I feel that at its roots, hardcore is something that is aggressive. It's something that is angry, and in a lot of ways violent. That being said, I want to channel that aggression. I want to channel that anger into something that builds, and not something that destroys. And I really feel that we as a band and me as a writer, we have a lot that we want to say. I mean, there are things that we see even in our hometowns that just don't sit right with us, and there are things that we don't agree with, and we have the opportunity to use music as a vessel to speak out against those things. And so, for me, lyrically, I'm making more of a conscious effort to really, to hone in on those issues and talk about them a little bit more. I mean, they're hit here and there on We Will Overcome, but I'm definitely making more of it a focus now. So.
And how's your deal with Victory going?
Really good.
Love it.
It's great. They have been incredible to us, and it is our home, and we're happy to be there. Very, very happy to be there.
What role does faith play in your music?
It's a big part of our lives, so it plays a big part in our music because we put our lives into our music.
It's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we recognize that at the end of the day, I mean, we're going to be playing shows where there are going to be kids that don't have the same faith-based system that we do. But what I really feel like what kids want out of music and just out of life in general is they just want authenticity. They want people to be honest with them about who they are, and we do that. I mean, we're not gonna beat around the bush and say, or hide who we are. I mean, we're just not gonna do that. We are very open about that. We're very open lyrically about that. We're very open musically in everything that we do, and regardless of whether or not somebody is a Christian at our show, I think that they respect and appreciate that. So.
Has there ever been any problems, whether with other bands or crowds or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Not really. I mean, we've been flipped off a couple times, but
who hasn't?
I don't know if that was really a reaction to what we were saying or if it was just a drunk kid in the crowd. So.
I mean, some of the best conversations that I've had out on the road. I mean, I had a conversation with a kid in Southern California he came up to me after we got done playing, and he was like, I'm actually, I'm an agnostic. I don't really hold, the same beliefs that you guys do. But he's like, I love what you guys do musically. I love it. So I mean, we haven't really received any flack. I mean, we've been on tour with some anti-religion bands. I mean, we've played shows with like Blind Witness and Oceano, and they're great guys. Great guys. I mean, I don't really think there's never really been any conflict from that angle.
We've been on tour with bands that are outspokenly atheist, and they flip off God on stage. I'm not exactly sure how that works, being an atheist and flipping God off, but they do it. So.
And when forming the band, was it difficult to find people that meshed with both your religious beliefs and your musical ideals?
Kinda and not really. It was hard just finding members. It wasn't necessarily that meshing was a problem. Shane and I were actually kind of writing together for about 5 months before the band was fully put together. And that just had to do with we were in a little podunk town, so there's not that many people there. That's right, Abilene, you're podunk. And
dang, I love you, Abilene.
And so yeah, I mean, in that capacity, it was difficult. But I mean, I think God has brought the people into this band that are supposed to be here, and we're happy with the way that it is.
And I know you have some dates with Shai Hulud coming up. What else is in store for you guys this year?
Lots of stuff that we can't talk about.
Not yet.
No, we can't announce the tours yet.
Fair enough. Do you guys make any New Year's resolutions?
I didn't. That's such a joke. Nobody ever holds resolutions. What did you say?
Well, sort of. I don't know. I'm the new guy, so I've only been in the band for about 2 weeks, and so this was kind of a maybe not.
He sucks. He'll only be in it for about another week.
maybe it wasn't really a New Year's resolution, but it was definitely a new beginning and a new chapter in my life, and I'm really thrilled to be here so far.
And how's the time in the band going so far?
It's been great. Everyone's pretty cool.
We just make fun of him for being Canadian.
They just
we
make
give
fun
him
of me
so
for being
much crap
Canadian.
for being Canadian.
Yeah. And I just say y'all back to you.
Hey.
Hey.
Pardon?
Oh, by the way, the band in all ships said you're not really Canadian because you're from Winnipeg.
Oh!
So we can fight them later.
It'll be a short.
Band beef.
It'll be a short fight.
Little Guidos.
On that note, how is it like, obviously you have bands with different beliefs and different ideals. Is there ever, not necessarily beef, but just how is it meshing with the other bands on the road?
We've never really had much of a problem. Like, we've had a couple drunk encounters with people, not us being drunk, but people trying to start something, them being drunk. Other than that, like, there's never been any big problems.
Everybody, I mean, we try to be as honest as, we try to be as honest as we can be with everybody that we meet, whether they be in a band or, just a fan at a show. And, people, like I said, people respect that. They respect that authenticity. And
I don't think any of us hide behind any type of barrier about being, perfect people either.
Yeah.
We're all imperfect people, and we all have struggles. We just have faith that goes along with that.
especially you're Canadian.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of faith to love there.
Kind of like Limp Bizkit.
Oh my gosh. True. And George Michael.
I mean, you certainly seem like easy guys to get along with. Do you have any closing remarks?
Come hang out at a show.
Come hang out. Come say hi. We'd love to meet all of you.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is the reason why we do what we do. I mean, it's not... We're not rock stars. U2 has got that under control. They got it taken care of. That and Nickelback. They got that all under wraps.
For the record, I like Canadians.
I like Canadians.
Canadians are very friendly, polite people.
They are.
They're
very generous people.
Yeah.
Very generous.
They're very polite people. Usually clean.
Excuse me, I farted.
Usually clean. No, I'll take that back.
How do you feel about Americans?
I have no problem with any of them. I had a lady in Walmart the other day that thought that Canada was part of the States. So it was kind of funny to correct her, but everyone I've met has been friendly. I mean, you got friendly people and you got jerks up in Canada.
He hasn't been to the good areas of America yet, where they're proud to be Southern Americans. I mean, I'm proud to be a Southern American, just not proud like these people.
Southern pride is something that is very, very strong.
That's awesome.
All right, well, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, not a problem.
Thank you.